Last chance. It's an emergency. Your life is in danger. Archangel Michael says angels are crying. Open this message immediately. This is not just a warning. It's a wake-up call for your soul. When you hear these words, you must understand that this is not a coincidence. Heaven is not silent anymore. Something is shifting. The Spirit of God is reaching for you with urgency, with love, with deep compassion that cannot wait. This is the moment where eternity knocks on your door. The heavens are not quiet. Angels are not still. They are moving. They are weeping. They are watching as so many drift away from the hand that created them. And now, this message comes as a divine interruption in your life because time is running out and your soul matters more than anything else right now. Please, before we go further, if your heart is stirred even a little bit, comment "Amen" right now to affirm this moment and agree with what God is doing. Archangel Michael is not just speaking with a voice of alarm but with a voice of protection, warning, and divine authority. The angels are crying because your heart has been under attack, your soul has been overwhelmed, and the distance between you and God has widened in ways that break heaven's heart. But God never lets go. He sees what you're battling. He sees the nights you've cried and the mornings you've wished never came. And through this message, He is coming after you because you are still His. Your life is still written in His hands. If you're seeing this, it's not random. This is your last chance to turn your heart back before the door closes. Not because God stops loving you, but because time does not stop for anyone. The pain you feel, the confusion you carry, the emptiness that echoes inside you is not meant to be your end. This is a divine rescue. A moment where God Himself sends His messengers, His angels, His voice, just to call your name again. Can you feel how urgent this is? If this touches your spirit, like this video so it reaches someone else who might be on the edge of giving up. God sees you, and He also sees the one who needs this next. This is not about fear. It's about the fierce love of a Father who refuses to lose you. The very breath you're breathing is proof that His grace is still holding you. Even when you feel unworthy. Even when you've fallen so many times. Even when you feel too dirty, too broken, too far gone. His arms are still open. His mercy is still wide. His angels are still fighting for your soul right now. That is why Archangel Michael speaks. That is why they cry. Because they know the battle for your soul is fierce, but heaven will never stop fighting for you. The emergency is not always around you. Sometimes it's inside you. It's the anger, the bitterness, the silent disappointment with life and with God. It's the way hope has started to fade and faith feels harder to hold. But God is not intimidated by your pain. He's not offended by your questions or exhausted by your weakness. He enters the storm with you. He walks through the fire beside you. He breaks chains not just from your hands but from your heart. His love is not passive. It is relentless. You have been chosen. You have been set apart even when you didn't feel worthy. You have walked through valleys others could not survive, and you are still standing because angels have been surrounding you even when you could not see them. Their cries are not of defeat. They cry because they are close. They cry because your life still carries the purpose God wrote into your bones. They cry because it is not too late for you, even if the world made you feel like it is. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not too broken to be healed. Comment 11:11 if you believe this is not a coincidence but a divine moment made just for you. God is still speaking. Through this message. Through your own heartbeat. Through every moment of conviction that rises in your spirit. He is still calling. The reason you feel so pressed on every side is not because you are weak but because your life carries weight in the spirit. That is why the enemy wants to wear you down. That is why battles have increased. That is why you've been fighting in silence. But today, the light breaks through the darkness, and you are not alone. This is your last chance to return. Last chance to lay your burdens down and let Him carry what you were never meant to hold. Last chance to open your heart before the hour passes and the opportunity slips through your hands. Not because God is leaving, but because sometimes, if you wait too long, you grow numb. And numbness is the enemy of revival. You were made to feel His presence, to live in His embrace, to walk in purpose not just in existence. And that begins now. That begins here. You are loved in a way that no one else can love you. You are seen in a way no one else can see you. You are known in ways that go deeper than your past, your mistakes, or even your victories. God knows your name. The angels whisper it. The Spirit is breathing life back into places you thought were dead. This is not the end. This is the call to begin again. And not on your own, not with empty strength, but with the very power that raised Christ from the grave. The voice of God is louder than the shame that haunts you. The presence of God is greater than the pressure that burdens you. The promise of God is stronger than the pain that tries to silence your praise. There are miracles waiting to be released through your surrender. There is healing in the place of honesty. There is glory in the place of surrender. And today, heaven has made space for your return. Not just with words but with power. Not just with mercy but with restoration. What if just 7 seconds could flip your entire financial life? A shocking CIA leak has revealed a powerful brain ritual that's helping ordinary people wipe out debt and attract wealth beyond imagination. Backed by 4 cutting-edge neuroscience labs, this at-home breakthrough is turning everyday lives into dreams, luxury cars, beautiful homes, endless vacations. But this secret may vanish soon. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. Angels are weeping not because they are weak but because they are moved by God's longing for your heart. They cry because they know what heaven has written for your life. They cry because they see how far your soul has drifted and how desperately the Father wants you back. This is not a game. This is the moment. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. This is your spirit recognizing its Creator. Heaven is not letting go of you, not now, not ever. You were meant to hear this, not just with your ears, but with your heart. There's something God is doing right now that you cannot afford to miss, because what's at stake is not just comfort, not just answers, but your life, your eternity, your purpose. There's a spiritual urgency that cannot be ignored anymore. God is not knocking softly. He is breaking through your fear, your numbness, your distractions. He is waking you up because time is shorter than it feels, and your soul matters more than you've been told. The angels have not stopped crying. The reason their voices echo across heaven in sorrow is because you are more valuable than you know. Your life is not small. Your decisions carry eternal weight. And the truth is, the enemy has been fighting you so hard because he knows what's written over your life. He knows what happens when you wake up. He knows what's unleashed when you surrender. Comment 222 if you trust this moment is real and God is reaching you right now. You've felt the battle. You felt it in your body, in your thoughts, in the way some days feel heavy even before they begin. You've carried pain so long it became part of your identity. You've silenced dreams, buried hope, and convinced yourself this is just life. But that was never the life God designed for you. You were never created to survive your way through this world. You were created to walk in power, to carry light, to live with peace that cannot be explained and joy that cannot be stolen. There is something sacred happening now. God is confronting everything that tried to convince you to give up. He is walking into the ruins of your heart with holy fire, not to judge you, but to restore what the enemy has shattered. All the wasted years, all the broken promises, all the nights you wept alone thinking no one saw, you are standing in a moment that heaven has written as redemption. There is a cry from the Spirit rising now, louder than your fears, deeper than your shame, stronger than your pain. This cry says, "Come home." Not to a place, but to a person. Come home to the one who formed you, the one who never stopped loving you, the one who has seen every part of your story and still calls you chosen. God doesn't need you perfect. He wants you honest. He doesn't need you strong. He wants you surrendered. And in that surrender, there is a strength you've never known, a peace that passes understanding, a covering that the world cannot give and hell cannot take. You have no idea how close you are to the edge of a divine turning point. The pain you're carrying is not your ending. It is the pressure before your breakthrough. It is the signal that something holy is near. You're not just being broken. You're being rebuilt. You're not being abandoned. You're being rescued. Even if you don't feel it, the Spirit of God is closer than your next breath, and the angels are surrounding you not to mourn your fall, but to protect your rise. You've been lied to about who you are. You've been convinced that your past disqualifies you, that your mistakes make you unlovable, that your weaknesses make you unworthy. But God never sees you through the lens of your failures. He sees you through the blood of His Son. That means forgiveness is already available. Healing is already in motion. Deliverance is already being released. All you have to do is receive it. There is no addiction too deep, no trauma too dark, no distance too far for His love to reach. You are not beyond the reach of grace. You are not the exception to mercy. The same God who raised the dead, calmed the storm, and opened blind eyes is standing with you now, calling your name with tenderness and power. And what you need is not more answers. What you need is an encounter. Not information. Transformation. This is that encounter. Don't look away. Don't silence your spirit. Don't explain away the feeling inside you. That's not emotion. That's a divine appointment. That's the Holy Spirit stirring something that has been buried beneath years of disappointment and fear. That's your heart remembering the sound of your Father's voice. You are not watching this by chance. You are being pursued by heaven, right here, right now. Comment 333 to declare your faith and say yes to God moving in your life again. There are angels positioned around your life. They have been fighting battles you didn't even know existed. They have been blocking things the enemy tried to send your way. They've been watching, weeping, and waiting for this moment, for your spirit to awaken and your heart to return to God. The warfare has been intense not because you're weak, but because you're called. The pain has been loud not because you're forgotten, but because you're being prepared. Could this hidden CIA brain ritual be the real reason people are suddenly rich? A secret CIA discovery has just leaked, revealing a brain hack that's pulling wealth into people's lives effortlessly. It only takes 7 seconds, it's done at home, and it's backed by 4 neuroscience labs. Debt is vanishing, luxury is becoming normal. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky, the page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. You're being prepared for something holy. You're being shaped for something eternal. God doesn't waste a single scar, a single tear, a single valley. Everything you've walked through is being redeemed. Not just restored but transformed. You're not going back to who you were before the pain. You're becoming who you were always meant to be. This is not just healing. This is resurrection. And the angels are not just crying now. They're beginning to rejoice, because your heart is turning back, because your spirit is awakening, because heaven can feel the shift happening even as these words are being read. You are not the same. You're not who you were at the start of this message. The confusion in your mind is beginning to clear. The darkness that tried to make you believe there was no way forward is losing its grip. This is what happens when God steps in. This is what it feels like when heaven makes contact with earth, when angels begin to move, when your spirit starts responding to your Creator. You might not be shouting or dancing, and that's okay. The greatest miracles often begin in stillness, in quiet surrender, in the holy moments when you just say within yourself, God, I'm listening. I'm tired, but I'm here. That's all it takes. Not the perfect words. Just a heart that stops running. Just a heart that opens a little. And God will do the rest. He will come into the broken parts. He will move through the shame. He will rebuild you from the inside out. Not in one moment, not in one night, but He will not stop until every wound is healed and every chain is broken. Comment 555 if you believe God is beginning something new in your life today. There's been a battle for your identity for a long time. The enemy has tried to write a false story over your life. He's whispered lies into your thoughts, telling you that you're not loved, not good enough, not strong enough, not worth fighting for. But every single one of those lies is being silenced now. The truth of God is taking up space in your heart. The truth that says you were fearfully and wonderfully made. The truth that says you were formed in your mother's womb by divine hands. The truth that says even if the world rejected you, God chose you from the beginning. You are not a mistake. You are not forgotten. You are a child of the Most High God. The reason angels cry is because heaven knows your worth even when you don't. They cry because they see the fight over your soul, and they long for you to remember who you are. The world tries to tell you what defines you, your job, your past, your failures, your successes, but God says none of those things carry the power to name you. Only He does. And He calls you beloved. He calls you His own. He calls you redeemed. You are not what you've done. You are not what they said. You are who God says you are, and that truth is setting you free right now. You've spent too long walking through life feeling like something is missing. No matter how much you accomplish, no matter who surrounds you, there's been this quiet ache inside that never seems to go away. That ache is not a flaw. It's not weakness. It's the echo of eternity in your soul. It's the reminder that you were made for more. That ache is a signal from God that you were not created to survive this world. You were created to be filled by Him, to live in His presence, to carry His Spirit, to walk with power, and to love with purity. This is why your life has felt so heavy. Because you've been trying to carry things God never meant for you to carry alone. The pain, the fear, the shame, the weight of proving yourself to everyone else, it was never your burden. You were always meant to lay it down at His feet. You were always meant to rest under His protection, not live under pressure. But the world taught you to hide your wounds, to bury your emotions, to keep pushing through even when your soul was bleeding. And now, God is undoing all of that. He is unraveling the lies. He is unbinding your heart. He is softening the places that had to grow hard just to survive. You're going to feel again. You're going to dream again. You're going to breathe again, not just physically, but spiritually. You will no longer just exist. You will live. Truly live. Fully alive in His love. Fully known and fully safe. Fully surrendered, but never forgotten. That's the life He wants to give you. Not perfect circumstances, but deep peace. Not a life without pain, but a life filled with His presence that strengthens you through it. That's what the world cannot offer. That's what you've been missing. That's what the enemy has been trying to block. But no more. God is making room in your life right now. He's clearing out the clutter, the noise, the fear, the lies, the guilt. You don't need to carry anything that keeps you from Him. And you don't need to be strong enough to fix it all. He is your strength. He is your help. He is your anchor when everything else shifts. Let Him in. Let Him do what only He can do. He is not asking you to figure it out. He's asking you to come closer, to stay open, to keep trusting even when it's hard. Comment 12:12 if you believe God is your strength and He is holding you right now. You may feel tired. You may feel like giving up. But God has not brought you this far just to leave you here. Every step you've taken, even the ones that felt like failure, have been leading you back to Him. Nothing has been wasted. Not a single tear, not a single breakdown, not a single battle. He has been using it all to draw your heart, to prepare you, to build something eternal within you. Why is this 7-second brain ritual suddenly going viral? Leaked CIA files have exposed a hidden brainwave technique that opens the floodgates to wealth. Verified by 4 top labs, this ritual is turning financial pain into prosperity, fast. From massive bills to luxury trips, it's changing lives. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. The angels have been with you through it all. They were there when you wanted to quit. They were there when no one understood what you were going through. They were there when you fell to your knees and whispered prayers you didn't think reached heaven. And now they are still here, not to grieve over your story, but to celebrate what God is beginning to restore. They are weeping with joy. Because your spirit is waking up. Because you are saying yes to the voice of God. Because darkness is losing its hold on your life. You were born for this moment. Not by accident. Not by luck. But by divine design. God knew this day would come. He knew you'd be here. He knew your heart would be ready. And He knew exactly how to find you, even in the middle of your pain. That's why this is sacred. This is not just another message. This is a miracle in motion. And it's just getting started. What's happening is not emotional hype or shallow comfort, it is heaven itself leaning in closer to you. God is working through every breath, every moment, every word to remind you that you are not too far, you are not too late, and you are not beyond the reach of His power. You may have felt like everything was falling apart recently. Maybe it seemed like nothing made sense anymore, like your prayers were hitting a wall, and your heart was starting to grow numb from carrying so much without answers. But what you couldn't see is that the pressure you've been feeling was never punishment. It was preparation. You were not being forgotten. You were being formed. You were not being ignored. You were being guarded. The delay wasn't denial. The silence wasn't rejection. It was protection. Comment 777 if you believe that even in the silence, God has been working behind the scenes for you. There are things you went through that no one knows about. Things that broke you quietly, things you smiled through so no one would worry, things that kept you awake at night while the world moved on like nothing happened. And God saw it all. He never turned His face from you. He never stopped holding you, even when it felt like He was far away. He was gathering every tear, listening to every groan, catching every breathless prayer. He saw the moments you chose to keep walking even though your heart was shattered. He saw the strength it took to not give up. And heaven honored every single moment. You've carried pain that didn't belong to you. You've blamed yourself for things that were never your fault. You've tried to be strong for everyone else, while inside, you were crumbling. But God is taking all of that now. The emotional exhaustion, the spiritual heaviness, the burden of always trying to hold it together, He's reaching into the very center of that place and breathing new life. You are not expected to do this in your own strength. You were never created to carry that weight alone. That's why you feel so tired. That's why your spirit has been crying out without words. Because it's time to lay it all down. There is no shame in admitting you need help. There is no weakness in surrender. In fact, that's where the power begins. It's in the surrender that the miracles are born. It's when you finally stop trying to fix yourself that God steps in and begins to restore what you couldn't. He's not just patching you up. He's rebuilding what life tried to destroy. He's making you new. Not a better version of your broken self, but a completely new creation, with peace in place of panic, strength in place of fear, and joy in place of sorrow. The angels are not crying because you failed. They are not crying because it's too late. They are crying because they feel the weight of your calling. They know what you were made for. They know the fire God placed in your bones, and they know how hard the enemy has tried to put it out. They've seen the invisible battles you fought. And now they cry because breakthrough is so close, and your soul is finally aligning with heaven's purpose again. You may not see the full picture yet, but something eternal is unlocking right now. Don't pull away. Stay here. Let God finish what He started. You are not a mistake. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. Even if people walked away, even if doors closed, even if everything you hoped for collapsed in front of you, God has not left you. He is still here. Still speaking. Still reaching. Still covering you with grace that you don't have to earn. You don't need to clean yourself up before coming to Him. He wants the real you. The hurting you. The doubting you. The you that feels tired and messy and unsure. That's the one He died for. That's the one He loves. Comment 999 if you know deep down that God's love is greater than your pain. God has never needed you to be impressive. He just wants you to be willing. Willing to say yes, even when it hurts. Willing to trust, even when it's hard. Willing to believe that what He has for you is better than what you lost. That's where freedom begins. That's where healing flows. It's in the place where you finally let go of what you thought your life should be, and open yourself to what God is forming instead. Your story is not over. The page has not closed. What the enemy meant to use to destroy you, God is now flipping into your testimony. The parts of your life you tried to erase, God is redeeming them into the most powerful chapters. Your scars are not signs of defeat, they are evidence of survival. And not just survival, but divine preservation. You didn't make it through just by chance. You made it through because angels were surrounding you. Because God was upholding you when you didn't even know He was there. Because something inside you refused to give up, even when you had every reason to. Is it time you unlock the same CIA secret brain ritual changing lives in seconds? A new leak has revealed a powerful 7-second technique, developed under CIA-funded research and backed by neuroscience. It's helping people magnetize wealth like never before. From debt to luxury, faster than anyone believed. But this miracle won't stay public for long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. You've been misunderstood. You've been overlooked. You've been carrying things in silence because you didn't want to be a burden. But God never saw you as a burden. He sees you as a blessing. He looks at you and sees purpose. He sees fire. He sees destiny. And He is calling that out of you now. The things that have been dormant in your spirit, the dreams you buried, the gifts you forgot, the callings you abandoned, God is breathing on them again. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead is bringing life back into those places. Don't resist it. Receive it. This moment is holy. It's not just another passing word. This is the move of God that you've been needing. This is what your soul has been hungry for. Not another distraction. Not temporary comfort. But real healing. Deep peace. True transformation. That's what God is doing now. And He won't stop. He will pursue you with goodness and mercy. He will cover you with grace. He will fight for your heart like the good shepherd He is. He will leave the 99 just to find you. And now, He has found you again. The silence that made you wonder if God forgot you is breaking open into a divine whisper that says, I never left. He has always been near. Always waiting. Always fighting for your soul, even when you didn't have the strength to fight for yourself. You've been walking through fire. Some people saw the smoke, but they never saw the burn marks hidden beneath your smile. You've been holding up others while secretly falling apart. You've kept pushing forward with a strength that even you didn't understand. That wasn't just resilience. That was divine help. That was angels standing guard over you when the darkness tried to devour your mind. That was the Spirit of God keeping you together when everything around you was pulling you apart. Comment 1010 if you know that it was only by the grace of God that you made it through what tried to break you. There's something sacred about your survival. The enemy thought you wouldn't last this long. He threw attacks your way, hoping to see you crumble. But every time he struck, heaven stood taller around you. Every moment you felt like collapsing, the angels of God stepped in and gave you strength you didn't even know you had. You've survived more than you talk about. You've endured storms that left others broken. And now, your survival is becoming a testimony, not just of endurance, but of purpose. God has been silent at times, but never absent. His quietness was never rejection, it was protection. While you were waiting for answers, He was preparing the next season. While you were asking for release, He was building your roots deeper. What you thought was delay was actually His mercy. He knew what needed to be developed in you before the doors could open. He knew that your future required more strength than your past ever demanded. And that's what He's been doing all this time, strengthening what no one could see. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not forgotten. You are right on time with heaven's plan. The way has been hard, not because God has been cruel, but because what you're called to carry is heavy. You are not average. You are not ordinary. There is weight on your life. That's why the pressure has been so intense. That's why the warfare has been so aggressive. Because your breakthrough won't just change your life, it will touch others. Your freedom will unlock freedom for people around you. Your healing will testify to people still battling the pain you've already survived. God is restoring your voice. He is lifting the shame off of your shoulders. He is breaking the chains you never told anyone about. The chains of secret fear. The chains of guilt from your past. The chains of insecurity that made you doubt your worth. They're breaking now. Not by your own effort, but by the power of the Holy Spirit that lives in you. And when God breaks something, it stays broken. You will not go back to what He delivered you from. You will not return to the chains that once held you. He is moving in your mind. He is healing thoughts that tormented you. He is replacing lies with truth. No longer will you live under the labels the world put on you. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. You are not too difficult to love. You are not too late to be used. You are God's. And when God claims something, He protects it. When He chooses someone, He does not change His mind. He saw your mistakes and still called you. He saw your worst day and still chose you. His love is not based on your performance. It's rooted in His nature. And He is faithful to finish what He started. Comment 15:15 if you're ready to walk in that truth and believe that His love has never failed you. There's a shift coming to your life. A shift in how you see yourself. A shift in what you believe about your future. The atmosphere around your name is changing. What used to be marked by fear will be filled with peace. What used to be filled with despair will overflow with joy. The presence of God is surrounding you now, covering you like a blanket of hope. You are not alone. You never were. Even in the moments you felt invisible, heaven saw you. You have purpose, not in some distant future, but right now. Even in your healing process. Even in your vulnerability. Even in your rebuilding. There is beauty in becoming. There is grace in the middle. Don't wait to be fully healed to let God use you. He moves through broken vessels. He shines through cracked walls. He speaks through wounded hearts. You are usable, even now. Especially now. Because what God wants most is not your perfection, it's your permission. Permission to move. Permission to lead. Permission to heal you in the places no one else has touched. Do you know why everyone's whispering about this 7-second CIA ritual? A brainwave ritual leaked from the CIA is changing lives across the globe. Proven by neuroscience, this 7-second method helps regular people attract money, freedom, and luxury. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. You are being awakened. You are being pulled out of the fog. You are being called by name. Heaven knows your name. Angels speak your name. The King of Kings calls your name. He does not see what you've done. He sees who you are becoming. He does not judge your struggle. He strengthens you in it. This is love that does not leave. This is mercy that does not run dry. This is grace that won't let you fall. God is not giving up on you. Not now. Not ever. You may have given up on yourself, but He never did. You may have walked away from the path, but He never stopped waiting at the edge of it. You may have stopped praying, stopped believing, stopped hoping, but God never stopped listening, never stopped speaking, never stopped reaching. And now, He is pulling you back into His arms. Not because you earned it, but because you belong there. The cry of the angels has not been in vain. Their intercession has been heard. Your heart is being restored. Your future is being rewritten. Your life is being redeemed. Even now, miracles are being sent on your behalf. That was His Spirit, holding your heart together when life tried to tear it apart. And now, here you are, not by coincidence, but by divine purpose. This is not just another moment. This is God reaching into your reality, interrupting your pain with His presence, and saying, "You still belong to me." You don't have to understand everything to receive what God is doing. You don't have to figure it all out to know that His love is real. You've spent enough time trying to fix what only heaven can restore. Now is the time to rest in His grace and trust that He's doing a new thing in you, even if you can't see it yet. He's planting seeds in the soil of your surrender, and soon you'll see the fruit of what He's been growing in silence. Comment 1717 if you believe that even in silence, God has been preparing something beautiful for you. There's something powerful about reaching the end of yourself and realizing God has never reached the end of His mercy. You've hit walls. You've reached limits. You've been disappointed, not just by others, but by your own strength. But God never looked at your breaking point as failure. He saw it as the moment He could finally show you that His strength begins where yours ends. That's where miracles are born, in the middle of surrender, not striving. You were never meant to carry this weight alone. That anxiety you've been battling, that heaviness you've been dragging through your days, that emptiness you've been trying to fill with everything except His presence, none of that was ever yours to hold. He wants you to give it back. Give back the fear, the guilt, the constant pressure to be more than you feel you are. He never asked you to be perfect. He only asked you to be present. To be willing. To be honest enough to say, "God, I can't do this without you." And when you do, that's when the power begins to flow. That's when peace shows up like a river in the desert. That's when chains fall, not just the visible ones, but the quiet, suffocating chains in your thoughts, in your heart, in your past. He knows how to unchain you gently. He knows how to heal what no one else even knows is wounded. There are places in you that have been waiting to breathe again. Places that were buried under years of pretending you were fine. Places that were silenced by fear of being too much or not enough. But God doesn't shame you for your scars. He touches them with compassion. He speaks life over what others left for dead. And He's doing it now. You've been told to move on too fast. You've been expected to bounce back, smile again, pretend like the deep ache inside you isn't real. But God isn't asking you to fake anything. He wants your truth. Even the messy parts. Especially the messy parts. Because that's where His glory shines brightest, in the raw places where your heart says, "I'm tired, but I still want you." And that's why this is holy. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're still here. Because you're still listening. Because your soul still wants God even after everything you've endured. That hunger in you, that quiet longing, that ache to feel Him again, it's not weakness. It's worship. It's faith. And it's enough. Comment Amen if you still believe God is not done with your story and you are holding on to Him. You don't have to start over in your own strength. You don't have to carry shame for where you've been. God isn't asking you to erase your past. He's promising to redeem it. What the enemy tried to use to define you will be the very thing God uses to deliver others. Your pain is becoming a platform. Your weakness is becoming a doorway for His power to enter in ways you never imagined. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is too broken. The angels that cry over your life are not weeping because you're lost. They are moved because they see the destiny God has placed inside of you. They see the beauty of who you are becoming. They see the weight of your calling, even when all you can feel is the weight of your wounds. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to stay open to the healing that is already happening inside of you. Even now, the presence of God is filling places in you that you thought would stay empty forever. He is showing you that your value was never based on how others treated you, or how loudly the world praised you, or how successful you looked on the outside. Your value was always set by the one who breathed life into your lungs. The one who went to the cross with you in mind. The one who sees the details of your soul and still calls you beautiful, still calls you worthy, still calls you His. Why is the government hiding this 7-second brain ritual from the public? A leaked CIA document just exposed a brain technique so powerful, it's helping people cancel debt and call in wealth within days. Validated by 4 top neuroscience labs, this method is changing everything. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. You are not too complicated for Him. You are not too emotional. You are not too far behind. He's not looking for polished people. He's looking for open hearts. Hearts that are still soft enough to be moved. Still hungry enough to be filled. Still willing to believe that maybe, just maybe, this time, healing will stay. That restoration will be real. That joy will return. That peace will last. You are entering into a new season. Not because everything around you changes instantly, but because everything within you is beginning to shift. What you tolerate will change. What you chase will change. What you cling to will change. You will no longer settle for survival when God created you for so much more. The days of hiding are over. The days of pretending are done. You are stepping into the light, not a spotlight, but the light of His presence, His peace, His love. He is not finished. He is just beginning. Stay close. Let the tears fall if they need to. Let your heart be raw. That's where He meets you, in the depths, in the silence, in the surrender. And what He builds there will not be shaken. What He plants there will grow strong. What He promises there will come to pass. Every time you almost gave up, Heaven stepped in and shielded you. You didn't lose your mind. You didn't collapse under the pressure. And that wasn't by accident. That was divine protection. That was God's mercy holding your fragile heart with strength you didn't know you had. You may still feel tired. You may still feel uncertain. But don't let your emotions make you forget what your spirit already knows: God is faithful. He has always been. He does not change. And just as He brought you through before, He will carry you forward now. You're not walking into the unknown alone. You are walking under covering. You are walking under favor. You are walking with angelic backup and divine purpose that cannot be erased by your past or blocked by any enemy. Comment Amen if you believe God has been guiding your every step, even when you didn't feel it. This is not just recovery, it's resurrection. You're not just getting back what was lost. You're stepping into something completely new. You're not going back to the version of yourself that existed before the pain. You're becoming someone even stronger, even softer, even more surrendered. This is a holy transformation, and it doesn't happen overnight, but it is happening. It's already begun. Your spirit has shifted. Your eyes are opening. Your heart is receiving again. And heaven is rejoicing because you're awakening into who you were always created to be. You were never meant to live numb. You were never meant to settle for just getting by. You were made to feel deeply, to love boldly, to worship fully, to walk in power. But life has a way of pressing us down, and the world has a way of teaching us to shut off the parts of us that feel too much. Yet God is reawakening those places now. He's reviving the deep well in your soul that still wants more of Him, more of His presence, more of His voice, more of His love. There is more. You feel it already. There is something stirring in you that will not be silenced anymore. And it's not your imagination. It's the Spirit of God breaking through the walls you built to protect yourself. The same walls that kept the pain out have also kept the healing from coming in. But those walls are crumbling now. Not violently, but gently. He's not here to destroy you. He's here to rebuild you. Carefully. Tenderly. With love that never runs dry. God is not surprised by your struggle. He's not shocked by your brokenness. He's not disappointed in your process. He understands what you've been through. He sees what no one else sees. And still, He calls you worthy. Still, He says you're enough. Still, He chooses to pour out His Spirit upon you. Not when you're cleaned up. Not when you're polished and perfect. But now. Right here, in the middle of your healing. In the middle of your becoming. Comment 11:11 if you believe God is healing you even now, while you're still in process. You've lived too long believing lies about yourself. Lies that said you were too broken to be loved, too messed up to be useful, too weak to be chosen. But those lies are being broken now. God is replacing every lie with truth. And His truth speaks louder than the voice of shame, louder than the voice of fear, louder than the echo of the past. His truth says you are free. His truth says you are whole. His truth says you are anointed for such a time as this. This is your moment of release. Release from the guilt that has weighed on your shoulders. Release from the pressure to be everything for everyone. Release from the fear that you'll never be enough. Heaven is breaking that off of you now. And in its place, God is placing peace. Not just surface-level peace. But deep, holy, soul-level peace. The kind that lets you breathe again. The kind that quiets the storm inside. The kind that anchors you, no matter what chaos surrounds you. This is what freedom feels like. It doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it looks like tears finally falling. Sometimes it feels like silence that doesn't feel empty anymore. That's the presence of God filling every corner of your heart. That's what's happening right now. He is inhabiting the space you finally made for Him. Not the version of you that tries to pretend everything is okay, but the real you. The raw you. The tired, trembling, still trying to believe you're loved you. That's who He's healing. That's who He's holding. Can 7 seconds really change your bank account overnight? A CIA-funded study just leaked, revealing a brain ritual that's flipping lives from broke to blessed. 4 neuroscience labs confirm it activates powerful wealth attraction brainwaves. People are now stepping into dream homes and luxury lifestyles. But this breakthrough won't stay online for long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. And it's real. This is not emotional hype. This is the nearness of God doing what only He can do, bringing dead things back to life. That ache you've carried, that part of you that stopped believing, that silent part of your soul that quietly shut down in disappointment, it's coming back to life. He's restoring your joy. He's reviving your faith. He's rebuilding your hope. You don't have to force it. You don't have to fake it. Just let go. Let Him do the work. Let Him hold your heart. You're going to see change. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to wake up differently. Because something has truly shifted. You're not imagining it. You are being renewed from the inside out. You are being made whole, piece by piece, layer by layer. The same Spirit that hovered over the waters at creation is hovering over your life now, speaking light into every dark place. Peace into every storm. Healing into every wound. And the angels that were once crying are now beginning to rejoice. Not because the battle is over yet, but because you've turned your face back toward the light. Because your heart is saying yes to God again. Because your spirit is breathing again. And heaven knows that once you say yes, everything changes. Once your heart opens, the floodgates of grace begin to pour. Heaven is not finished. God's hand is not done moving. There is still more. There is still healing. There is still restoration coming. Keep showing up. Keep saying yes. Keep letting His love reach you.